Well, David Beckham is in Brazil to open his latest football academy. He's already established centres in London and Los Angeles. The latest will be built at a new luxury resort being built in the city of Natal. He joins us now live from Brazil. David Beckham, a very warm welcome to you. It looks warm enough there in Brazil anyway. So this will be your third footballing academy. We've got them, what, in LA? We've got one in London. Do they really need one in Brazil?
Yes, they do, and that's the reason why we're creating this facility. I think, I'm very proud of the ones that I've got in London and also in LA, but I've always also said that I want to take it to other places around the world, and where better than here. You know, it's an amazing place, very passionate about the game, very passionate about football, and I'm very proud to obviously be part of this, because it's going to take a while, but I think that it's going to be one of the best facilities in the world. We're going to be able to obviously have children come down to the academy and enjoy themselves and play in a safe place. And also we're going to be able to have the facilities to have, top football teams from all around the world to be able to come down here and spend their pre-seasons, or just have a break. So it's going to be something special.
You've had a bit of a break recently from competitive football, haven't you? We know you've been labouring under a bit of an injury that's stopped you really playing competitive football since November. Do you think that's going to be a problem for Fabio Capello when he names his England squad ahead of that match, a week tomorrow?
Well, I think that, there's been obviously a lot of people talking about, the new manager and what players he's going to pick and what team he's going to pick. And, I think it's an exciting time for English football, because to have obviously a manager of his calibre involved with the team, I think that it's very special to have someone, with his pedigree and with, his winning mentality to be part of, the English football and the English game. So, it's going to be an exciting couple of weeks, starting with the game on the 6th. The squad will get announced in a couple of days, 2 or 3 days, and I think everyone's excited about that, and I think it's good to obviously have the competition that we've got out there with the young players that we've got coming through in our game, and it's hopefully going to be a good time for English football in the next few years, because it needs to be.
You've got 99 caps right now. If you can claim your 100th cap, you join an exalted list. People like Sir Bobby Moore, Sir Bobby Charlton, Billy Wright, Peter Shilton. What would it mean for you to get chosen to play this 100th game?
Obviously, it'd mean the world. To obviously get picked for playing for your country is always a special thing. And just because it's obviously my 100th game, it makes it extra special. And hopefully it happens. But we'll have to wait and see. If it doesn't, it doesn't. That's part of life and that's part of football. But I'm keeping my fingers crossed, and hopefully I've worked hard enough this month and a half to get myself fit and to make myself available. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I know his English language skills are starting to come up to scratch, but have you had a conversation with Fabio Capello? Have you actually talked to the coach about how he's doing things and whether he might select you come Wednesday?
No, I haven't spoke to Fabio Capello. Obviously, he's been very busy. He's been watching a lot of games and been travelling around the country watching a lot of different players and obviously the teams. So no, I haven't spoke to him, and obviously not planning on speaking to him until hopefully I meet up with the squad. But I think that he's, like I said, he's a very talented manager, and he'll do things in his way. And that's the way that everyone will have to accept it, because I was lucky enough to have played under him obviously at Madrid for the last year, which is when we was successful and won La Liga, and he's a manager that will look after the players and will give obviously the team a good boost.
And what about your immediate domestic future, David? What about sticking with LA Galaxy? What about the prospect, as some newspapers have reported, perhaps a return to English football? Who knows? I mean, the back pages over here are full at the moment of events up at Newcastle. Kevin Keegan, Dennis Wise going there as well. Any thoughts on what next year might hold for you?
No, I'm in US now for the next few years. I'm not planning on coming back to English football, because I've been lucky enough to have played in the Premiership for many years for a club that I'd always wanted to play for.
It was my dream play for Kevin Keegan again, though, wouldn't it?
I think it's great for Kevin Keegan. I think it's great that he's back at Newcastle. He's back at a club that he's it's an amazing club, has some of the best fans in the world, and I'm very happy for him and wish him all the best. Obviously with Dennis Wise as well. You know, I think it's a good mixture because they're both very talented in obviously the game, and obviously Kevin Keegan in management. I've been lucky enough to have played under him, and he's very he's very a player's manager, and I think that it's very good because he's very passionate about Newcastle, and like I said, I wish him all the best. But for me, you know, I'm playing in America now, and I'm planning on staying there.
And David, just to strike a slightly sombre note, I'm sure you'll be aware as a former Manchester United player that it's the 50th anniversary of the Munich air crash looming. It's just a week away, the 50th anniversary of those dreadful events. As a former Man U player, what do you have to say perhaps to Manchester fans, particularly those fans who are wondering how to handle the event itself? You know, Man City perhaps looking to applause or a minute's silence. What's your thinking?
Well, I personally think it's going to be a great occasion because, you know, they're celebrating, you know, the lives that were obviously lost in that, you know, in Munich and in that crash, and to celebrate, you know, the great players that have played for Manchester United and obviously who lost their lives. And you know, there will be a lot of emotion around the grounds, and especially obviously in Manchester because, you know, I was lucky enough to have been there for many years and witnessed, you know, the great occasions that came round, you know, every time it came round to an anniversary.
David?
And, you know, for me, being a Man United fan, Man United player at the time, you know, I was very proud to be part of that, and I'm very proud to be part of the history that surrounds Manchester United. So, you know, everyone will enjoy the day, but you know, everyone also
David?
has to respect the fact that this is a Man United day, and you know, this is the way it should be celebrated.
Okay, David Beckham,
you know,
we have to leave it there.
Manchester United's history.
Our satellite's just about to come to a grinding halt. David Beckham live from the beachside there in Brazil. Thanks very much indeed.